Congratulations. And Anguiano takes match 2. It's an incredible play from Anguiano. I'm really excited to see where he's going to be able to take that Oyashiro. You know, it's ultimately establishing a good deal of the strategies and moves that you're going to be using and combinations you're going to be seeing with this character. I haven't really seen a lot of Oyashiro play recently, and a vast majority of it has definitely been, at least within our community, focused around a handful of players that are really picking this character apart and really establishing the core gameplay of what that character is going to be. And so far I'm really impressed with these 3 characters. I was admittedly one of the people that was not so excited to see them, but I'm SNK absolutely surprised me. These characters are pretty great.
Yeah, they've really reworked them to make them very, very deep. Even a character like Oyashiro that just seems like, run and grab kind of thing, just has so many different options, has so many different follow-ups to those options. It's a lot more technical than meets the eye. A lot to learn, especially.
Looks like we will be having a Polyboy and Lenandis, right?
That's right. Polyboy trying out King recently, joining the King clan here on our server. It looks like he's picking up an Chris as well.
Oh wow, yeah, that's going to be pretty interesting. Now, what kind of differences should we be expecting from Chris versus Chris? I know Vanilla Chris is incredibly fast-paced, really heavy on the combinations and set play. Is Chris very similar?
Well, Chris definitely still has the speed. He's much more. People usually call him more of a Shoto character. He's got kind of a fireball. He's got DP. He's got a command grab of all things. So his game plan still is to get it right up in your face. There's less kind of high-low mix-up that we see in normal Chris, and more of just to kind of get in, get this command grab, do your super. A lot of you really 98, especially. He gets there's such a guy. He's one of those characters, like I said, kind of like Shermie, where if you get in, if you nice combo on him, it's kind of game over.
Nice. Yeah, I'm really glad that they were able to differentiate between the 2 versions of the characters. So I'm really excited to see how that plays out. Polyboy has picked that character up. He has a strong Ralph, and as you can see, a very strong King so far going into it. Lenandis, does have strong gameplay. His Gato is very strong. His Janae is very strong. So it should be interesting to see how he handles them.
Sharp Polyboy has been doing just all the right things with King. Just staying at that annoying distance, right?
Absolutely.
Changing up the fireball lengths. Knowing not to get too close. They run in. You hit it. You punish them with a high standing D. Very, very strong.
Currently giving Gato fits right now. He's able to find some work in the corner, and now Gato's applying some pressure himself. Gato with a lot of pretty interesting mix-ups. He's a very strong character, and another one of those newcomer expansion characters that just was strong right out of the gate.
Oh yeah, Gato's one of those characters where I don't know what you'd have to do to him to make him a weak character. He's got such strong mix-ups. Got very good buttons. Very, very hard to predict.
Absolutely. And his kit itself is just really well-rounded. He has answers for a lot of stuff. A lot of his moveset does ultimately just feed directly into his game plan. He's somewhat straightforward, but he has a lot of different paths to getting to damage. So I'm really impressed with how they did Gato, and he seems to be really strong within the KOF meta.
Definitely. And Londandis' Gato is no exception. He's using a lot of those big long buttons he's got, trying to keep Chris's pressure away. So I just said, Chris still is a very, very fast character who will hit on you if you're not careful. Doing everything you can to throw out those big buttons. Goes to DP, misses it, and it's the round. Now, Janae's another character that when she launched wasn't so hot, but has been definitely very popular as of late.
Oh, absolutely. I think so much of her moveset can lead to a little bit of confusion. She has great air-to-air options. Her ground game is very strong. The hop into her specials is very powerful. Looks like Polyboy is able to find some answers there from. It's resetting the distance, moving back there. There it is, that hop now. That hop does anti-air in some instances. So it is a pretty strong option in terms of challenging uh, some of the offensive output that Polyboy is capable of with the Orochi Twist.
Definitely looking for the anti-airs on Chris, knowing Chris is going to be hopping in on her a lot, and found success there at last, but getting a little unsafe. And Poleva is definitely coming in with the punishes.
Now, Ralph was incredibly strong prior to the last patch. He seems to have been toned down a little bit. It didn't seem like they made too many changes, but he seems much more manageable as a matchup for a vast majority of the players that are experiencing, that experience some of his somewhat overwhelming offense in the initial patch.
Definitely, and the big thing that they changed about him was just making his buttons like that kick just less oppressive, less massive. So as Polywall himself point out that a lot of these buttons are still really big, but they do a lot more pushback. They push Ralph out of range, so he just can't keep up that crazy pressure on you. As long as you're not trying to mash out of it, if you block it, his pressure kind of ends, and you can escape. And I think that's the biggest change, that his pressure just isn't so insanely oppressive anymore.
Yeah, and fortunately for him, I think it kind of opened up uh, sequences that generally weren't an option in the past because he would still be in the range that was ideal for him. Now that he's pushing you out a little bit further, it kind of opens up the opportunity to use his overhead drop kick to approach his opponents from different angles. I still think it's a pretty good change. He's still really strong, and it does allow him to show a little bit more offensive expression.
Definitely. A lot less flow charting.
Yeah, absolutely. Holy boy, able to find some good ranges against this Kula. Still leaning on that fireball. He has a little bit of a modified air fireball there, but it looks like Kula's starting to cut the distance. That Kula jumping hard punches. An incredible move. Very strong jumping.
Hard to see coming because it comes out so late that you think you're safe, and then you'll get smacked.
Yeah, startup on it's incredibly fast. I mean, she could do it very close to the ground and still get that move up. Boyboy's able to solve that though. Ends up winning that first round. Boyboy sitting on 0 meter right now.
So yeah, characters, and I can attest to who is very simplistic, and if you figure her out, you can get through. But man, if you got a good read on your opponent, you know exactly where they're going to be, and you can keep different height fireballs with her big jumps TD. I think Polly was really doing a great job with that, keeping those safe range.
I think Polyboy's probably looking at this point to start pulling a little bit of battery for his midpoint character. In the meantime, it looks like Jimenez is able to find a little bit more meter there. I think he's going to pull back a bit and just try to finish this round off and go into the next match with a good chunk of meter to work with.
One of the really interesting strategic things about KOF is how its meter works, right? And if you're in Londas' position, you don't want to spend a whole bar just to finish King off. That's really he's able to get with just an EX.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to, you're just that desperate. I mean, there are a lot of times where as a character, I just do not want to fight, so I will spend however much meter I need to get them off the screen.
Right, and I think it does kind of show some of that. A design aspect of SNK games in general is the gambling that you do with the meter that you have at hand.
Definitely.
And of course, I think he was making sure that he had enough meter to spend, because anytime a character goes out in KOF, the next character coming in is going to get bonus meter. So immediately, Orochi Chris came in with 1 additional meter and as the 1 meter that King had as well. So I mean, he's at least giving himself an opportunity to always be a threat.
Right.
Right there.
It's just for those seeds. Gonna get a good combo off of them. Because that's the other thing with your meter. I mean, all it takes is 1 hit, and you could basically kill a character right there.
Right, exactly. And I think a lot of the offensive pressure that you can feel in King of Fighters 15 is generally opened up by the ability to break into longer combos from pokes that you're fishing out as a result of the quick max mode. Once you have 2 meter, a lot of characters open up their offense quite a bit. Finding a great use of that standing C. That move's incredible.
Yeah, that's Strauss CD is definitely a pretty infamous move. You know, it's just huge, comes out fast, really starts to exhausting.
Finds that anti-air again. Does so much damage off of that, and it catches so many hopping moves. Great pressure with those fireballs in the corner. Finds the throw, pops it right back into the corner, and again applies the pressure with the fireball into the throw. Oh wow,
Right.
he was able to roll away from that fire. That was some incredible corner pressure, but
You know, Londonis really saw the opportunity and just realized, well, you know, there's not a whole lot Ralph can do in this position, right? I mean, I can just sit here and wait for him to roll and do it, you know, and keep grabbing him.
now in scenarios like this, what's keeping him from canceling directly into guard cancel? It would at least alleviate some of that pressure, right?
Well, you can, but you know that carries a risk itself, right? You have to basically read when they're going to hit you, and that you're going to guard, and that you're going to be able to guard cancel, right? And there've been a lot of times where like, oh, I'm ready for this. I'm going to guard cancel and knock them back, and then they'll just wait just a moment, and then they'll punish me, you know. So even
Yeah,
something like a guard cancel carries its own amount of risk, and you know, when I think when Polyboy was just that close to the wire, he just didn't want to try for it. But then, of course, Londonis took advantage of that hesitation, just kept grabbing over.
right. It's such a good deal of competitive KOF is both creating opportunities to take your turn and capitalizing on your turns when you've made somebody freeze or hesitate.
Going for the EX Fireball to trip up that Reflect.
King has great range of different anti-airs to help accentuate her ranged game. And she does have that slide again. I tend to comment on that. It is one of the few moves or command moves that is cancelable raw, and it does help her character out quite a bit because she is able to apply some pressure with a low hitting slide that is cancelable into fireballs, and it pushes it back out to a range that works well for her.
Nice read on the roll and a punish. But yeah, absolutely. You know, that slide just always makes King, you know, you always have to be conscious of that and blocking low. And now in 15, they gave her the overhead command normal, which itself isn't too threatening, but you can condition, you know, oh, I gotta block low, and then just throw out that overhead, or once in a while just chip them away with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Finds the tornado kicks into the flip kick, and we're going to be getting super off of that. It's a very typical combination you see coming from King players. Relatively straightforward combo, does good damage, and you can land it from a lot of different scenarios. Back onto those fireballs, finds that anti-air standing C. Such a strong button.
Absolutely. Yeah, all of King's heavy punches are just have all their own purposes and are very strong. Take up a lot of space, stay out on the screen a long time.
Finds that short jump, jumping C directly into the tornado kick. And flip kick into super. No super, that's right. Didn't have the meter for it, but still did a good deal of damage. It's respectable damage, even though she wasn't able to finish it off.
Something I'm seeing Polyboy doing that's pretty interesting. He's doing a lot of advancing with jump C on King, which isn't a button you see normally. For example, I use a lot of her light B, right? It has a nice higher up angle, but he's basically expecting for Londonis to kind of getting a read on that, and it's like, I'm just going to be in the air already and run right into it.
Right. It seems to be a strong button for applying pressure with her, and I do see it pop out often when you have a more aggressive King. But that kind of illustrates how you can have very different versions of a character. You know, two people can play the same character in very different ways, and it's a really interesting aspect of King of Fighters, especially considering having multiple characters on one team would make you think that some of these characters are going to be a little bit less in depth. But yeah, there's so much range within the character archetypes.
Well, that's the cool thing when you have a game that's so system focused instead of like character focused, right? Is that it's all about how you interact with the core mechanics of KOF, and so different tool sets can be used in just wildly different ways. And when characters have such diverse tool sets, you know, everyone jokes that everyone has a command grab in this game, but you know, that gives you all kinds of options about when you want to use that and where you want to use that and that kind of thing. It's you know, each character really is just kind of a toolbox for you to use as you want. there isn't necessarily an ideal way for you to play that character. So it leads to a lot of player expression like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely find it to be a little bit more difficult to pick up because of the range of options you always have available to you. But it is pretty interesting that you're constantly, you know, you constantly have a lot of options available both for offense and defense, and a lot of it caters to whatever playstyle you generally are used to. So if you're really good at punishing stuff with high damage combos, there's some of that. There's a lot of command grabs. A lot of characters have command grabs, even though they're not what would be considered a typical grappler. Everybody has a lot of tools that they're to explore.
Definitely.
All right, it looks like we have Jimenez here, and it looks like it's Jimenez and Kano at this point. And this is part of the loser's quarter.
Looks like we're gonna have a long mirror match. That'll be really interesting to see.
That should be. And Kano opting to put King at anchor. I find that very interesting.
I've seen some people do that, especially if you want to really just double down on her zoning and spam those EX fireballs. If you have the confidence that you're going to be able to keep him out and kind of chip him out. She's not the worst anchor, but it requires a very specific game plan style. As we just said, you can kind of play them how you want. That's one thing I've seen people do.
Now he could also be going the path of allowing Luong to just use all the meters she wants at mid. And if she ends up, spending everything, King just comes in with 1 meter as a result of the meter bonus, which is a pretty good place for her to start at anyway, because she's such a good point character and doesn't need a lot of meter to apply her game plan.
Definitely. Catches the jump. Really trying to keep Oyashiro down, Jimenez is aware of, Angel's shortcomings when it comes to getting in, and, Oyashiro's strength of getting in. Just throwing out those jump CDs, keeping him on the ground, not letting him advance.
Coming out with that Luong, she's sitting on 1 meter. Jimenez has 2 meters, so he should be very careful there. At any point, he can break into max mode. He can do quick max combos, and that's generally where he's going to open up a lot of that offense with Angel. Able to find the throw, rushing in, finds the cross up. We should be seeing some damage here off of this.
There it is.
He should be able to cancel into level 2 here. No, okay.
Ops saved the meter.
Yeah, it looks like he saved it. Probably a good option, because if he can come out of this round, he can apply a ton of pressure on the follow-up character. And he's gonna need that, especially against King if he's able to get through. Wow. Great read on that jump in. King's gonna be coming with 2 meter now.
Curious to see how Kano does. Gang, I generally a pretty strong matchup against Angel. See if you can keep her out.
He did not go for the EX after that, huh? Well, actually, he has to start with the EX, right? And then he follows up after that.
Right. Perfect round. Able to keep Angel out, move into the next one.
Luong sitting on 3 meters, she is capable of applying quite a bit of offensive pressure, and she does have good damage output.
Definitely. What King's gonna want to do here is just be absolutely careful of all her jumps, right? He's gonna take like that, right? And as we speak, get into that big damage.
And it's really tough to keep out a character like Luong, because a lot of her normals are so far-reaching. Her crouching kicks are really far-reaching. They can cancel into a lot of her special moves and allows her to apply a ton of pressure. If you're constantly trying to read those and react to them, she's going to do super jumps, get over you, get behind you. She can apply her pressure, and she has the moves to do so.
Definitely. She's definitely a character who's good if you're a patient player, right? If you're willing to wait for just that one perfect moment for that little B, I mean, you can end the round right there. Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, and misses the
He didn't go for the trap shot. He finds it there. Oof, throwing those fireballs really close.
I think he was trying to go for the chip, hoping, he'd catch him with one of them. It is a pretty dangerous situation to be in, but, You gotta be really careful with those. They're so punishable.
Jimenez takes the first match here. Both players opting to keep the same order and same characters.
Definitely seen some strong play here. As both players really try to find those good ranges. I mean, I gotta say, like 90% of KOF is all about spacing, right? About knowing where you need to be effective and where they need to be effective, and just finding that perfect sweet spot.
And then, interestingly enough, I find it odd that Kano did go with a brand new character for his second match here. It seems like he is opting to stay with Oyashiro after Jimenez was able to solve a little bit of those complex offense that he was able to dish out initially.
Also the grab, but he's really doing quite a bit better, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Able to escape the corner, but popped right back into it. Goes directly into the Unchained. It looks like he's going to be able to find the last hit there and wrap that up. Luong will be coming in with 2 meters, so she will be able to apply a little bit of pressure. Ahmed is sitting on 1.
Ready, go!
Kano's going to need to try to keep Angel out, but just as I said that, he was able to cut the distance. Oh, he looks like he misses a move in that chain. Oh, and he's able to find that. Oh, misses the follow-up. Critical that on his opening, he's able to make sure he lands those combos, but he is able to find that super in the corner. This is still very much a live match.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, we got that Luong mirror going here. Jimenez with a really strong Luong has a great grasp of her ranges.
The real strength of his, and I've seen a lot of this match, is knowing when to jump and when to hop, right? He knows exactly when Kano is going to go for something low and just jumps right over and hits him out of the air. Really slowing down his offense in that way.
He also has a great ability to read incoming low attacks and just short hop right over them as well.
Great.
One of those things about King of Fighters is that the hop is both offensive and somewhat defensive. You can read someone's low attacks and just hop right over them, and it will land for potential damage for the combos.
This is match point for player 1.
Kano's Luong did pretty well though, all things considered.
Ready, go!
Yeah, even though it's sitting on a lot of meter, but we'll see if Kano's King can keep it out.
I think a little bit less routes for landing a lot of that damage for Luong, but I think her cross-up and her ability to kind of find those... Oh wow, supers right through the fireball. That read was incredible. Jimenez himself has a pretty strong King as well, right? So he does know her game plan.
Yeah, just waiting for something unsafe like that and then cashing it all in. Oh, another double.
Jumping B.
What a great fight! Mad respect to the winner!
As I said earlier, that's really Jimenez's biggest strength is his ability to adapt on the fly, right? And we saw it earlier. King is able to keep Angel out, keep Luong out, but just kind of found those right ranges, kind of had a read on when those fireballs are going to come out, and just took advantage of it.
Right. Yeah. He seems to adjust really, really well, and he's able to find the routes that are going to be ideal for his offense.
Like next we have, I believe this will be antagonists versus Laudandist.
We have a pretty strong field of competitors this tournament. Few new faces and some strong competitors that it's definitely not their first King of Fighters tournament.
That's for sure. But you know, even these up and comers that are in this tournament, you know, are really growing really fast. And we're talking like over the course of a match, right? So, you know, I think they're gonna make it really far today, and even if they don't take it all, like they'll be a very serious threat next time.
Absolutely. Yeah, much to your point, we have Anguiano sitting at winners final right now with you know longtime member Holy Lord. So
Right.
it should be some real interesting matches here. Looks like we're ready to rock and roll here with Menendez and Antagonist. Antagonist still leading with the same team. He's got Keo, Rugal, and oh, did I just miss that? Yeah, he has Joe on anchor.
Yeah, Joe can definitely be a strong anchor. You know, he was
Absolutely.
kind of been a sleeper hit for a while,
Yeah.
especially in the last patch.
Unfortunately, very heavy on the execution. You're pressing a lot of buttons with that character, but he's really fun to play.
One of the few characters who still has a national move.
Right. And a real interesting nature to his gameplay, where he's both a keep away character with lots of projectiles and just a combo machine.
Full combo.
Oh, he misses that SRK, finds that jumping C, but unfortunately is unable to convert. Finds the throw, wraps that round up, sitting on 1 meter, and Rugal will be coming in with 2. I'm seeing a lot less Rugal than I thought I would, considering he's a pretty strong character so far.
I think so too, but I think while his zoning is very, very strong, I think he struggles a bit to kind of get in. He's very good at keeping you out with his projectiles. He's got his reflector. He's got, you know, genocide cutter. But I think when it comes to actually getting in and doing the damage, yeah, very slow, very stubby, normal. His heavies and even his lights are just a little stubby.
Yeah.
He did characters try to get into so many things and struggle with because it's just hard. He did a combo.
Right, and you know, just going on about what you just said, the genocide cutter even is a little bit narrow. Like the hitbox feels a little bit narrow.
Yeah, it's not the oppressive monster that's been in older games. They toned it down a little bit, probably for the betterment of us all.
Yeah. It
Cool,
looks
they
like,
win a defensive guard cancel there, trying to just on back.
intense pressure being put on by Hernandez's Kula. Blocks that DP, finds some offense there, and is moving him right back across the screen. Does pretty good damage there. Finds the slide and is punished for the results. Oh wow. Now, is there a reason why Antagonist is not really leaning on that fireball thing? I would imagine that he would want to try to keep Kula out a bit more.
I think, you know, in those fireballs probably one of the better ones in the game, I'd say. But I think he's just aware of that. London is aware of that too, right? And he knows if I get a little too fancy with the fireball, it's just gonna be one jump, and then I'm kind of screwed. So I think he's kind of relying on his normals a little bit, trying to go for that slow or for the slide, kind of go low. You know what? Like I said, Joe is a very good fireball, but you know, also a very laggy one. If you
Right.
are kind of onto his game, you know, you can really get in on him.
Round one. Ready? Go!
Hernandez is up 1 on Antagonist for no change to characters or character order. Kula absolutely dominating the match finally. Finds that overhead, skates right back in, tries to find that jumping C. Misses that rising kick. Race spin into some combos, but ends up dropping it.
Really seen a lot of CD out of Kula. You know, it's got a very one that do a little offense on her, she just knocks him right back. Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was great. You know, I find it so interesting, especially with Kula. You know, those race spins are all a negative on block. It's just ranging her just right, where it's really difficult to find any sort of counter to stop that.
It's much like Kyo's Rekka's, right? You just don't know if he's gonna stop and keep going, right? Yeah, you can
Right.
try to challenge on just the one race spin, but if you guess wrong, you're gonna need a whole combo. The strength isn't necessarily that they're plus; it's that there's so many options you can do with them. You don't know what's coming next.
Right, and I see a lot of scenarios where the sit and the stand both just kind of will end up countering a lot of what you're trying to punish the move with anyway. And then
Mhm.
that doesn't, the EX version itself is even. So that's another wrinkle to that already complicated puzzle.
And with the EX, so just make sure he's gone.
Round 3. Ready? Go!
Sitting on those fireballs now. The EX fireballs does
Yeah.
set it up free. A little bit more difficult to jump over. And the screen carry on some of her combos is just incredible.
Oh, absolutely. She has a special version of that combo you can only do in the corner, but it's kind of trivial when you're almost guaranteed to get in the corner after one of those.
Right. Finds the flash kick there, but doesn't get things end up cut. Right back into the race spin. EX race spin, slide, race spin, stand. Wow.
Right, and that's the match. Yeah, as you said, that's another thing that makes her so strong, right? Is it's not just the damage she can do, but any combo she does is going to carry you all the way to the corner, and you're stuck. Even if you think you've gotten back out, you're just going right back in.
Right, and it's so difficult once you're in that position because then she can just assault you with any number of race spins, hopping C's, which is really difficult to deal with. She has a good game plan and a real straightforward way of applying it.
Yeah, certainly. Let's see.
Great set of matches there.
Absolutely. And like I said, it's always good to see characters you don't expect, right? We have a lot of kings around here. We get a lot of Kulas, but a Rugal, a Joe, a Kyo. That's always really good to see.
Right, absolutely, and I'm surprised at the how infrequent some of these really popular characters are. Kyo's a real representative of the KOF in the KOF community, and it's interesting to see very little Kyo play within the community.
Certainly, and I think he can actually be a pretty strong character. His rec has been there since '96, but they really do add a lot of mix up. He's got a lot of options from his red kick. He can kind of overhead you. He can do all of his recas. His low command normal, that little double kick, is a really good way to start combos. He's got a lot of mix up that can really trip you up.
Yeah. And he does have armor on some of his recas now, so that's a huge deal. And I think that was something that was kind of slept on initially with him.
Oh yeah, as I have a friend in another server who plays a lot of Kyo, and he's always messing me up as king because he just armors right through my fireballs, and it's like, well, that's half my game plan gone, So yeah, I too am surprised I haven't seen a lot of Kyo because I think he can definitely he really is kind of a jack of all trades kind of character and can really easily adapt to whoever he's facing.
All right, we're going to be looking at the winners final at this point with Eddie Anguiano and Polyboy. Keep in mind, these are going to be 3 out of 5, so we're going to have a little bit of a longer set moving forward. Moving into winners finals, looking at Eddie Anguiano and Polyboy.
And how could we expect anything less but our boy Polyboy being here at winners finals?
Right. But
Very
again,
strong player all around. Always trying out new characters and always doing good.
looks like we have a little bit of a shift there. For Anguiano, he's putting Geese at point. So we're going to have a little bit of a zoning fireball match here to start off the match.
Right. And I think, like you said, it's a strategic choice. You know, he's got 2 other grapplers on that team. It's just, I better put Geese up front. I don't want to lose 2 characters to all that zoning and just be left with Geese at the end.
Ready? Go!
Now, in this particular instance, I feel like Geese has a little bit more options, and his fireballs don't have the same speed and application, but he can apply a ton of pressure with them. Having the counter as well is going to give him some good options, and if he can sneak in some of those overheads, I feel like he's really helpful.
Definitely. Oh, for sure, cross up gets grabbed.
Finds that soon. These guys chucking fireballs all over the place. The angled fireballs for Geese, they cause so much disruption. I'm really surprised to see Poly Boy is able to find a good ability to move around those.
Yeah, Poise Boy is having a hard time getting in on those. Oh, and there's the that jumping kick. Oh, super impressive.
Whoa. Now, in this particular instance, I wonder if he's able to find the height to get over the fireballs while still, landing high with the fireballs. Those modified fireballs, perhaps off of that forward B, might give him the height to, get over the ground fire, the Rapukin fireballs, and maybe, challenge him from up top.
Round 2. Ready? Go!
Now, Yashiro's going to have a little bit of an uphill battle here. Luckily, he doesn't have a full character to deal with.
Like Poly Boy trying to, dance around him, know he's going to be doing this hard offense, trying to around him. That combo.
It's a challenge to wake up with that standing jab, but applying pressure one more time. At this point, he's going to try to just do as much damage as he possibly can and break the move.
And we're tied up.
Really relying on those air fireballs to keep that pressure out. Just that's really been the tactic this whole tournament, is just keep Yasuro blocking, destroy his forward momentum, and you can, kind of get your way with him. Poking each other out with their huge normals here.
Sherby, much less of a threat when she's only sitting on 1 meter. Interesting to see how he's going to apply her offense. Now he's sitting on 2, so he can do a little bit of damage here, but of course, Oyashiro doesn't need a lot of damage to apply his game plan.
Oh, this is going to be big here.
Yeah, sitting on 4 meters. This is going to be problematic. Oh, there's going to be some skulls here. Wow.
And Poly Boy returns in kind. Yeah, they're both characters where it's just, you just see that one touch.
Only their anchor remains.
We have a small Shermy mirror match coming up here. Unfortunately, Poly Boy sitting on 0 meter. Now, a lot of Shermy's offense with 1 meter is going to be based off of a lot of mix-ups and throws. Am I right?
Yeah, definitely. That strong cross-up, stuff like the spin kick he's trying to do there with the ambiguous back and forth. A lot of really good air normals, a lot of ways to keep your you locked down and then go in for grabs.
The net is able to close that out.
Eddie definitely trying to conserve his meter to go into this last round and wipe out Ralph.
Now, I don't know if he'll be able to build that last bit of meter before he goes into his damage, so there's a potential that Ralph can survive a bad encounter here. More so now. Goes back up to 4. Counters that CD. Oh, looks like they're going to be doing some work here. Oh boy.
Yeah. He's doing a great job
kill.
of jumping over those big Ralph buttons.
Oh wow. In a real difficult spot right now, Poly Boy.
Trying to build up the meter with his punch there. I think it's caught by the CD.
Great patience shown by Hernandez.
These two know how to rumble. Winner!
戦いのデザインも一緒。センスをもっと磨かなきゃダメよ。
He's really taking advantage of Ralph's few shortcomings in that a lot of his pressure, a lot of his big attacks are very, very horizontal. They don't reach up very high. So you can always just do a full jump over them and hit him on the recovery.
And Guianos won the first match with back into the mix. Applying some pressure there with Geese keeping King in the corner. King is able to escape, chasing her down with a kick, getting back into the fireball range. Geese has some pretty great air-to-air options as well. There's that head height fireball there.
Right.
I'm curious as to that was able to go over the Rakugan. Reads that cross up, able to low profile it. That double Rakugan just goes right through those.
Yeah, makes for a hard matchup for King between the air fireballs and the double Rakugan, which is
right. The timing on that fireball right before that could have been just right for him to wake up into it, but he was able to recover and catch him with the following.
Burn to fight. Ready? Go!
It seems like the Geese, Billy, and Yamazaki team initially had some concerns, but I believe that both Geese and Yamazaki are now kind of coming into their own. I don't necessarily believe Billy is as weak as a lot of players seem to think, but so far I'm pretty impressed with the team.
Yeah, definitely. They're compared to the Garo team, which has a lot of really strong kind of meter dump characters. Like the Southtown team is a lot more technical, like Geese's counters and Yamazaki's snake arms and stuff like that. But all the same, can be very, very effective.
Round 3.
We're down to a grappler showdown.
Yeah, both of them sitting on 2 meters, so it should be interesting to see.
Right.
Able to low profile that jumping D. Here's a great read on Polar Boy. The jumping D is really good. I think a lot of the Yashiro jumpings are just great.
Oh yeah. Playing an interesting game here, right? Where they're just kind of poking each other out. They know if they get too close to either of them, it's going to be game over. So, oh wow.
That was great. He's going to go directly into max mode or into the max super. I think that should be it for sure.
This is match point for player 2. Burn to fight. Ready?
Ralph coming in here. Yashiro still sitting on 1 bar. Has half his vitality left.
5 meter on Ralph is not something you want to be staring down.
No. You just have to try to find a way to apply that and get his offense started. But I do believe it's kind of tough with Yashiro because Yashiro wants to be at that same range as well.
Mm-hmm. He was really getting a lot of use out of that crouching C, and he learned from his mistakes the last game with him jumping over all of his pressure and just waiting just a moment for him to land right on top of it.
Yeah, startup on that dive kick is so fast; it's tough to read it.
Oh yeah, and it's an overhead too, so even when you
exactly.
think.
Final round. Ready?
Well, it's definitely anyone's match at this point.
Oh, catches him with the headbutt. Misses the flag. Applying pressure, finds that standing D, OCD. Oh, finds the elbow. We're going to be seeing some damage come up here, but now this might not be as bad. But we are going to see that level, that climax coming out.
This move might decide the entire match. Let's go.
I'm not so sure he's going to survive this one.
Wow.
So much
Man.
damage.
He had it
Mind you,
there a
this
minute
was started
ago.
off of 4, right? That was 3. Oh, wow. I think he started that off of 3.5. That's a monstrous amount of damage.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely a great play by both players. Playboy had there for just a minute, and he threw out the command normal instead of the special, and he was able to come back. Aguiano was able to come back and take the whole round.
Going into the third match, Anguiano's up 2. No changes to character lineup or character order. Polyboy finding a little bit of offense there, getting him right back into the corner and applying some pressure. Oh,
Yeah.
wow, that was an incredible read there. That jumping C
There.
one more time. Great pressure off of those moves by Polyboy.
Yeah, I think he's really throwing Eddie off his game right now. He's expecting these full screen fireball wars. Yep, and King's just mixing it up.
Now, does the EX version of that counter still catch the cross up?
Of Geese's high counter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's side neutral, so it'll catch you from either side. Yep.
Excellent. That was a little bit of a gamble on Polyboy's side, but it paid off. He finds that overhead there, going directly into the throws there, and he finds the super as well. That's crazy damage.
One bar, off a heavy combo, and it's just a half dead. Crazy.
Yeah, that standing C is so good, and you just check people with it all day. Looks like Polyboy's kind of changing the pacing up a little bit there, finding a good opportunity to go into a more of a ranged fight and just kind of pick his spots where he has to, but he is going to probably hit that super right now. This is a great start for Polyboy right now. His adjustments are really good.
Definitely.
And then switching right back into that ranged game plan when he finds the standing C, that's a real hard pace to deal with. That's some really strong KOF.
Definitely. What a beautiful read. Well, it works so well on a character like King, who can really hang out there and play the long game. But, when they start expecting that to start rolling around, you can run up and hit them like that. The really, really great reads off of Polyboy.
Oh, finds the leading spin kick over that, and the stop. Has some meter to work with, but I imagine he's going to want to sit on some of that and try to use it at anchor. But in the meantime, he's going to be having to deal with this barrage of fireballs. Polyboy is just absolutely managing these ranges incredibly well.
He's just ready for anything at this point. It's really, really cool to see.
Now, I imagine that if Anguiano can try to close the book on Shermie as quickly as possible, then he can kind of go into the last round, probably with less meter, but at least an easier fight. But if he allows Shermie to build a lot of that meter, it could be problematic. But it looks like he might be. Oh, I thought he was going to end up spending it there, but I guess not. Maybe he wants to try to save some of it for Ralph, which is a good strategy.
I think so too. I mean, Ralph on a lot of meter is dangerous in and of itself. You want to save. Pressure up, gets the combo.
Great read on Polyboy's side there. Able to pick up a match here. Now we're looking at 2-1.
Yeah, Polyboy's definitely coming back strong. I think he's kind of figured out Eddie's game. He knows when he's going to sit and when he's going to try to move in, and he's punishing everything.
Yeah, I think a great deal of the strategy is trying to get King around Geese so she can start applying her game plan to both to Yashiro. If he can bring Yashiro about halfway down, gain a little bit of meter, and then just give Shermie an opportunity to come in with some meter to work with, he has a great base to work from.
Right. Yeah, Geese is really the vanguard of this whole team here, right? Because if King wins the round, then Yashiro's got to deal with King, and that's just not in his favor for sure.
I think what Polyboy was able to realize is that playing a ranged game against Geese might not be the best bet, and instead he's going to see if Anguiano is able to deal with some of the pressure that he can apply with King, and then kind of find a good ebb and flow between the different types of offense. Finds that fireball underneath him and is going right back to the range stuff. I'm sure he's going to apply that pressure one more time here. He just has to find the opening. And Leandro's a little bit gun shy with the counters as well when Polyboy does get inside. That jumping C again, doing wonders for him. Whoa, whoa! I thought that
Right over his- There we go. Sniped him. Yeah, and you know, Polyboy's willing to spend that meter because, like I said, if he could get through Geese's zoning game, he's got a lot more favorable fight for him next.
Right, and he can spend this next match if he wanted to, either playing control or playing battery, whichever's going to work best for him. But at this point, now he can, be a little bit more conservative, be a little bit more careful about his game plan. Mix up the aggression with some of the zoning with the fireballs, and he'll be able to, at least get Yashiro down, to half of his life, maybe gain a little bit of meter, and if not, he can be fortunate and get to Shermie. Great application of some of that offense there. Finding that jumping C again, that thing's just doing tons of work this match.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow! Excellent anti-air with that standing blowback. That was incredible. And you can see that he's keeping him at the correct range. Now he's going to find the trap kick. Unfortunately, he does not have the meter to finish it off with a super, but he does not have to. Yeah, we got an absolutely great match on our hands here. Shermie's sitting on 4 meter. Now, this is an interesting situation here because he's going to be doing as much damage as he can, knowing that Shermie needs to carry some of this meter into the subsequent rounds.
Right, and that that gives Playboy the the security to just play this really conservative game, right? He can hang back, he can throw fireballs because even if he misses a fireball, he can get there.
Yeah, he knows that he's not going to spend the whole batch on it. Ideally,
Right.
you can get him to use some of it, and ultimately kind of miss. But yeah, finds that jumping CD. Going into the next round with 3 meter, and Shermie's coming in with 2.
Burn to fight. Ready?
Polyboy making some great adjustments mid-match, able to find the right ranges, find the right pacing, and offset some of that offense that Ariano was able to apply. This is that jumping elbow. A good range of anti-airs for Shermie. I feel those are just really difficult to deal with.
Definitely. Between your oh, here we go. Big combo
Oh.
between your crouching C or
Going for a
stand.
ride.
Show no mercy.
Look at that. See, he knows exactly what Eddie's gonna do next. he's got him red right now. Waiting from the jump, hit him with the sweep.
Yeah, making it really difficult for him to apply his game plan at this point.
Yeah. Look at that. Those reads, man. Wow.
This is just the start of a new worldwide legend.
He's looking for the right range for that spin, but he's able to read it. That's great work. Looks like we're tied up now. We have a really good match on our hands. We'll see if there's any adjustments that Angliano can make. And in this particular instance, I'm not too sure if he's going to want to change his order. And it looks like they're going to be going with the same order.
Yeah, this is going to be a fiery match for sure. They both have kind of started to figure out each other's game plan. They've had 4 matches now to do it. Polyboy made adjustments. We'll see if Eddie here can adjust himself.
There was that he's finding that height for those fireballs to start making it a little bit more difficult to apply the ground fireball game by Geese. It's a really great adjustment on Polyboy's part. It starts kind of opening up those options for those jumping C's, and he's absolutely finding them.
Right.
There's that trap kick.
He's reading those back rolls. He knows he just has to hop forward that seed. He'll be out there long enough to catch him. It's a nice clash in the air.
Oh, no conversion off of the crouching hit confirms. Oh, finds the crouching C anti. Not too sure if it's the best idea to be starting to apply pressure when you're down right now.
Nice snipe. The king finisher. Throw out your EX fireball at the end.
Round 2.
Yashiro would be well served to try to get this get King out of there as quickly as possible. He lands the jumping cross up, but unfortunately isn't able to convert. That's a shame. That was a good opportunity. Finds a command throw, nothing to catch.
Command normal.
Gosh, so many of these moves are just barely missing. I think he dropped on that right there too.
I know. Just he's getting these opportunities and he's just not able to follow through on them.
Yeah, the nerves are starting to get to him a little bit, but it's completely understandable. Both players are playing incredibly well right now.
Oh,
This is there's that punish though. I'm not sure if it's gonna finish though, but he does use the super to just get her out of there. Probably a wise move, and especially because Yashiro is not going to do a lot of meter to push his offense in the next round. You got Shermie coming in with no meter. Well, actually, she'll have 1 meter as a bonus from a character loss, but I'm not too sure if that's going to allow her to start her offense as quickly as Yashiro can. And this is probably one of those opportunities where Anguiano is probably going to want to rush her down a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. He can play a much more conservative meter game in this than Shermie can. Gets the combo, goes for it. Yeah, he wants Yashiro out of there too, because he knows just what we just said, right? Like that Yashiro's sitting all the meter, he doesn't need all that much of it.
Looks to be able to find it there, and that's going to be the end of Yashiro. Oh, Yashiro still putting in good work, but unfortunately was not able to capitalize on the meter that he had against Shermie when she's at her weakest. But now we got a Shermie with 4 meters, so this is gonna be interesting. Polyboy's gonna have to play as tight of a match as he possibly can.
Went for the jump. Yeah, got caught.
No. This is problematic.
Just the reads on these two players, man, it's crazy. Polyboy is trying to use his jump CD to keep her out, and Eddie Aguiano knows that, so he goes for that committal anti-air grab, but it pays off.
It's going to be down to the fundamentals here. We hope he can spend the meter how, but what a great match.
Man, going into the final round here, we're gonna have a 3-bar Ralph, 2-bar Ralph, and a no-bar Shermie. But this really is anyone's.
Absolutely, this has turned into a great winners match. Finds a crossface, not able to convert. Checks and challenges that short hop and challenges the overhead. That's some great reads. Finds the anti-air and going directly into the throw. Chooses to stay in, empty jump into the throw. That was great stuff. Releases the gas a little bit there. Oh, finds that jumping kick. Drop kick's really strong.
Oh,
Finds the drop elbow there. Wow. I think that's the match.
That's
that was an incredible set.
yeah, a lot of adjustment by both players, for sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, we had Polyboy there, really going offensive with King when he realized he wasn't winning the fireball game. And then, really checking Aguiano in the air, and so Aguiano started throwing out those air grabs, and for Shermie, that's instant death,
Yeah, it was that very great exchanges going on there. I think it was great play from both players. Looks like we're going to be having Jimenez and Ledandis up next on stream.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely been a great tournament so far. A lot of very, very high level play, a lot of character variety. It's been really exciting.
Now the winner of this match here will be going into losers finals against Polyboy. So we're gonna have another incredible matchup there, and then we might even be seeing a rematch between Anguiano and Polyboy, which, I mean, that was an intense set already. And if Polyboy actually makes it to back into the winners bracket, he would have to beat Anguiano 6 times. I mean, he's gonna have to put him into losers and bring him back. It's gonna be a battle of attrition here.
I wish all the best for Ledandis and Jimenez here, but man, I would love to see a finals with Aguiano and Polyboy. I just want to see how much they adjust again. They were really playing off each other that whole game, really reading each other and figuring out what they need to do next. And so I'd love to see how they come back after these matches if that ends up being the case.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty incredible. Now, that being said, he can adjust, man. He can adjust to different players, and
let's play together these players because this is up in the air. Who's going to be in the finals?
Yeah, we're having a really good set of finals here. And Hernandez, of course, has shown some great gameplay throughout the tournament. Jimenez is very strong, and then the winner of this match going up against Poly Boy is almost guaranteed going to be a pretty interesting matchup. Looks like our players are currently getting ready here. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us. We've had a great set of matches, and I think we've seen some really good KOF today.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't forget, if you'd like to learn a little bit more about the FGC Boomers community, you can always visit us on Discord. You'll see a link on the top right of the screen. Players seem to be getting set up now. Their characters have been selected. We have Jimenez and Hernandez here. Leading with Kula.
Same teams. The old reliables for them.
Yeah, I think at this point in the tournament, they're going to go with the teams they have the strongest synergy with. So it should be interesting to see where this is going. Kula and Angel are up. Menez's Angel able to find a lot of great routes for applying her Unchained command normal, so it should be interesting to see how that works out. I imagine Kula's going to be doing everything she can to keep Angel out.
Both taking advantage of that air game.
It's interesting seeing Kula on point, but having a character like Bijane on anchor is a great thing to have.
Right. Yeah, I don't think it's so much of a Kula on point as I want Bijane on anchor,
Yeah, exactly. Angel on point though is I think it's a good position for her. She can do a lot of damage with her Unchained specials, and she has a good way to apply a lot of her offense. Moving into the second round now. Gado's coming in with 2 meter. He's going to be very dangerous right now. And he can apply a great deal of damage relatively quickly with a lot of great mix-ups. Both these characters have a great range of different mix-ups that they can apply. Oh, wow. That's good damage for just, what was that, 1 meter, half a bar?
Player 2 wastes no time evening the score.
Yeah, Gado is absolutely oppressive. He's got, like I said, he's got great air buttons. He's got his demon flip moves. They have, 8 different possible moves he could do out of that, and you just have no way of knowing.
Right. Yeah, once he starts branching into some of his options, it's really difficult to follow where his offense is going. Yeah, it's jumping air. The airs are so strong, that corner pressure is starting to mount up. He's able to find a little bit of breathing room, gets that anti-air, starting to apply some of his damage here, or some of his offense off of those crouching normals.
Here we have, though, again, Nunes doing what he does best of long, just keeping that safe distance, just enough distance to do a crouching B, or to throw out her special kick. But not close enough for Gado really get into his dance.
In the meantime, though, Gado is using a lot of special moves and building some meter off of that. Luckily, he was able to find that, ends that round with the super. Sitting on 1 meter, unfortunately, Anchor is going to be coming in with 4 meter. And that Bijane with 4 meter is going to do put in quite a bit of work. It's surprising to see how the meta for Bijane has changed from the time she came out to now. She was pretty good when she came out. Now she's considered one of the better characters in the game. Able to do quite a bit of damage, apply quite a bit of different routes for her combos. I'm pretty impressed with what we've been able to see from her.
Absolutely, yeah. And as we saw there just a minute ago, just you can catch people with that EXDP and just go to town with them. It's such a huge move. If they're hopping, if they're jumping, you're gonna grab them, and then you can full combo afterward.
There it is again. Oh, he misses. He missed the super there. Finds the crouching and throws into the corner super. We're probably going to see a super here. Oh no, he didn't do it. He's still. I don't know if he's holding on to it or what. There goes that corner pressure with the waves.
Fighting back with that massive jump CD on my.
Yeah, it's a very tough move to beat air to air, so it tends to create one of those scenarios where you just end up blocking it, but it has so much block stun.
All eyes are on the winner of that.
He takes the first match, Bijanet just putting in work.
Yeah, he's really getting the read on there on Jimenez, and you know he's trying to get all that jump pressure in there, try to advance with his jumps, and you know with an anti-air like Janae's, you just got to be careful.
And now it makes a lot of sense having Bijanet on anchor. She has a lot of, or she'll generally be setting on a lot of meters so that she can always have the EX anti-air on point. You know, once you have that locked in, it's really difficult to apply pressure on her.
Definitely. A lot more pressure here from Kula. Trying to just bring the fight to Angel, you know? Instead of letting her try to hit, just try to get her out right up
Yeah,
back.
zoning her out a bit there, definitely. With a little bit more application of Ice Breath, a little bit less of the spin raise there. Really strong adjustment there to counter Jimenez's approach.
Fishing for those low Bs too. You know, that's the whole start of her offense there.
Oh, Howard found that jumping kick pretty well there. Was not able to convert on any of it. Maintaining that ideal distance. Anytime she starts, trying to encroach, she's gonna have to deal with that Ice Breath.
Oh, just picking away. Yeah. Here we go with and dropped combo.
Unfortunate. Those spin rate combos, you gotta be able to land those if you want to get that corner carry and allow her to open up the range that she works best at. Might look to, yeah, I was about to say she might look to use meter to get it out of there, but she didn't have to. That round went pretty long. They were taking it down to the wire.
Yeah, both these players, you know, they're really starting to respect each other's range, and they're just they're poking at a distance. But you know, it leads to a lot of drop conversions and a lot of tense.
Finds the corner combo there. Ray spins into some heavy damage. Oh, challenges the weight that she didn't even try to throw.
And base of the
punishing that DP. Oh, misses that. Finds that jumping C. Unfortunately, unable to convert, and Jimenez finds the crouching B.
When we come into this next round with a pretty heavy disadvantage, so half health, 2 to 3 bar. It's Gato and his massive air
Crazy
stuff.
mix-up. Yeah, I think he's gonna have to try his best to keep him at the right range for Menace for the Luong, but that's really difficult to do because Gato's movement is just really intense. Doing a great job so far. Gato finds the crouching moves, but is not confirming doing damage. It looks like he might have found something here and is going directly into the max. It's a great adjustment there.
Jimenez is having a bit of an uphill battle last combo, but I think Londandis is really catching on to the whole, like, my game plan is to hit low B. If I hit low B, then I combo you into oblivion. You know, that perfect range.
Oh wow, that great mix up into that slide. Finds the jumping punch there. Or the dash punch. Ooh, just rolls past that, but is able to counter, able to punish the DP. If he can get out of this round before the 30-second mark, he will get a little bit more of his bar back, but doesn't look like it doesn't look like he's making that easy for him.
Right. Now, this is going to be a tough match, but, you know, Jimenez has got to be really careful because, you know, a lot of my stuff relies on being in the air, or a big jump CD, and his ult's going to take is one miss, and he's going to anti-air you. A good job doing those pokes though, keeping her out as much as best she can.
Yeah, I think he might be, pretty well served trying to get back on those fans and maybe trying to get that slide in there to kind of keep her a little honest. But it's looking like it's a very difficult fight for mine. Wow, those fireballs are really strong for Bijane. Oh,
Nice. Nice
yes, it's there.
read. We're gonna have to finish it, but it's definitely a big chunk.
Oh,
Let's low C.
All eyes are on the
and it looks like when he ends, it's going to be 2 up now.
winner!
Definitely not making it easy for him. He's got an uphill battle for him ahead of him.
But, he's just keeping those perfect ranges. He knows the long danger zone. And he's going above it. He's going beside it. It's everywhere but there.
And sticking to their order this time. It looks like Jimenez is going to ride this one out. Confident that he can solve this.
Low B into the combo.
And he definitely finds
this
all the spin rates there.
Angel Kula matchup is a lot of poking back and forth. Really interesting to see.
Right.
Very-
I definitely believe Kula has the advantage here. Though she has a lot of options and is able to do quite a bit of damage with very little bar. So I'm finding it. I'm finding it to be a very difficult fight for Jimenez at this point. Carries her back across the screen. Starts applying some of that corner pressure, relieves some of that there, gets right back on the ice, but
Yeah.
able to find the lane.
Exciting bout for round one.
Hey for Angel, to get in on all that.
Reach for the top.
Luan coming in with 2 meter here. She's gonna try to play a good, safe range game. Try to get Kula out of there as quickly as possible. Ideally, without spending way too much meter. Finds the anti-air there. Oh, he's able to poke in between those spin ray. Oh, lands the EX. Is gonna be going in. We're gonna see some damage here.
Drops it.
And we're tied up.
Excellent read there from.
Even as going into the next round in a pretty strong position.
Reach for the top. Ready?
This is one of the better situations he's found himself in throughout the set. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can utilize some of this additional health and meter to solve this Gato puzzle. Finds a throw, gets him into the corner, starts getting on those kicks. It's just a matter of time before this Gato tries to get a demon flip in there and try to open up his offense. He's able to work his way out of the corner, but finds finds it raw and able to find it on counter. Directly into the level 2 Max Super.
Crazy.
That was a good read.
Player 2 has victory in their sights.
And that is on his last character in match point.
Wasn't a whole meter dump though, so
Yeah, it was. If he can do some work on Gato here and get out of there with a little bit of meter, he still has a chance. But again, that Bijane match is very difficult for Mai. Oh wow, look at that.
trying to save some of that meter back.
Oh wow, he's able to find that jumping blowback with Mai very strong. Finding a bit of rhythm at this point. Gato's having a little bit of a harder time getting in.
Some really great defense by both of these players, Like they really are just restricted to their poke.
finds the throw. Starts his offense. Hits the dash punch. He's jumping right back in with that blowback. Again with that raw suit, he just knows when he's going to poke and he just finds the super. Some great reads there. And that's match. Ladandis. Moving on to Losers Final, we're going to be seeing a Ladandis Polyboy match. It's going to be a very interesting match.
I mean, Jimenez is a fantastic player, but Ladandis really did just solve that puzzle, right? He just, I know what range I have to be at. I know where you're going to be dangerous. And just playing a really patient game to just keep him out.
Right, and not only that, like the team dynamic that he has going on just seems like it's a very difficult, hill to climb for Jimenez at this point. I mean, that ultimately he does, it does result in a Mai versus Bijanet match where Bijanet's almost always sitting on meter. It just seems like a very difficult matchup.
Right. I mean,
Jimenez, lots of good adjustments there.
Right. For a character who relies so much on her jump CD, and it's just one anti-air away from Bijanet from just eating it all. So.
Going into Losers Finals now, we're going to be seeing Ladandis and Polyboy. Polyboy trying to work his way back into the winners bracket. Unfinished business. With Mr. Anguiano. You might just have your wish, and we'll be seeing a run back of that pretty intense set that we had earlier.
His King's been getting really good, and I think it'll serve him really well in this Kula matchup. I mean, Kula's got the reflect, but it's pretty limited, and I think she'll have a lot of ways to try to keep her out.
Gets that throw early on. Polyboy showing a little bit more aggression there, looking to find that jumping C. Ends up getting tossed right back into that corner. Even Kula's C grab just crosses you across the entire screen. And she's really good at moving characters across. Oh wow, that's great damage. Big conversion there. We'll be able to find the super here. Chooses not to go with it.
Not quite enough meter. Polyboy definitely fighting back. Taking the geese back the last time, right? If my fireballs aren't working, then I'm gonna really mix up my offense here.
Yeah, he seems to be finding good success with it. Able to knock Kula out.
Round 2. Ready?
Gato coming in with 2 meters. Very difficult character to deal with, but at least King excels at keeping these types of characters out. Wow, that dash was able to cover the ground so quickly. He's already applying his offense.
Just mixing up the fireball timings on the block string, catch him off guard.
Oof.
Player 1 wastes no time evening the score.
Such an impressive offense from Gato.
Round 3. Ready?
Curious to see how this will go though with Shermie's big pokes. Here we go.
The land the elbow. We're going to be seeing some damage here. I imagine he wants to get rid of Gato as quickly as possible. Finds a command throw. Good mix-ups there. Those mind games are starting. Good back.
Drop combo by Gato.
There's no punish there. Alright, let's just drop that jump in. Oh, there we go. Able to get Gato out of the way. We have a good match going on here. Polyboy's pulling out all the stops.
Yeah, he's definitely Ladandis is really moving in there with his light attacks, trying to he knows that Polyboy is going for these big anti-airs, these big jump CDs, and just trying to needle him down with these little light punches and light kicks.
Finds that anti-air and goes it directly into super. That BJNA has just got it. It's such an impressive kit to work with.
Aldanis really has a read on those rolls, not just from Poly, but from everybody. You know, he knows when you're going to do it. He just grabs you right out.
Yeah, he's good at setting up scenarios where your most obvious answer is to roll, but he knows that you're going to do that.
Right.
It's a good deal of conditioning. It's great gameplay. Oh wow, he finds that EX again. We're really seeing a lot of damage here.
That Janae heavy punch is just is so oppressive. You know, it's huge. Oh, look at Batter Strike.
Uh-oh. We're not seeing a lot of those mixed up into the offense recently, but they definitely can change the pace of stuff.
Man,
Wow.
what a payoff.
What a comeback.
What a stellar fight!
That was crazy. Poly Boy was on the ropes there for a second. He turned it
Yeah.
right back around. That was crazy.
I think Poly Boy's gonna be putting that conversion right into his toolkit. That was some excellent stuff and great work in the clutch.
You know, the funny thing about Shatter Strike is I think so many people forget to use it, that when it comes out in a match, you know, no one's expecting it, right? So if you just keep conscious of it and use it as a tool every once in a while, you're really going to catch people off guard.
Oh, absolutely. And it even kind of creates a scenario where if you have meter, almost everybody has anti-air that can either go into wall bounce or go into crumple stun. It's an option and a tool that's not being used very often, and you know there's great returns on it. It's 1 meter to use, but you get half a meter back the moment it lands. So I mean, like I predict that it's going to be something that we start seeing a lot more use of in the future, especially as an option to challenge jump-ins.
In those close.
That's an excellent spin rate combo there. Strong Kula play there from Vidangis. Really taking it to Poly Boy. Poly Boy is able to switch sides there, jumping in with that hard C, but again with that spin rate, it's such a difficult move to challenge.
Those cooler block strings, you know, you can link so many of those low punches together. You don't know what's coming next.
Ready, go!
He's able to take that round. Kula's in with about less than a quarter of her life, but Shermie's already taking the fight to her. Kula has the corner advantage. There's applying a little bit of pressure, and Shermie's able to escape.
Oh, nice grab.
This
Really starting to anticipate Londanis' offense here. You notice he ended that block string with that backflip, you know, hoping to catch like a mash.
This does put him in a good position, but he has meter against Gato. Gato's going to be really aggressive, so ideally he might be able to find a spot there, especially with those jump-ins, to perhaps find that anti-air grab.
Here we go.
There's the punish. Things are going to get ugly here.
If I were him, I would just spend the 2. Yep.
Absolutely, yeah, get him out of there. Absolutely.
Got it.
Hopefully the follow-up here is going to... Oh, excellent spin kick there. Gato able to find the dashing punch. Excellent work. Great reads, the Poly Boy. Some really good adjustments going on here.
Definitely. You know, like I said, you know, earlier Londanis' play was to just try to poke out all these really big, slow moves with his lights, and, you know, Poly Boy's really responding. Trying to get these whiff punish style moves.
That was a great jump, and unfortunately, just a little too high to convert on. Additional pressure being put on Ladijne. She is able to get out of the corner, but does end up catching the command throw. Oh, wow. And it challenges the cross-up and is able to find it, even though the character jumped to the other side. You know, some of those standing anti-airs, crouching anti-airs, their hitboxes are pretty wide, so...
That's the other strength of Janae, though, is she just has just absolutely massive buttons. Her stand ski, big, it moves you forward. You know, you block it, she can just chase you down with it. It's crazy, but
Blocks the overhead, goes directly into the EX anti-air. You could probably be seeing a little bit. Oh, it's still storing some of that meter there.
yeah, surprised he's not finishing it with the kick super, because you definitely can. There we go, the Shatter Strike again.
Oh wow, yes, yeah. Holy man, these crazy adjustments, man. I think it's creating one of those scenarios where it's going to make it very difficult for Ledandis to apply that pressure with that EX knee.
Well, you know, Polyboy's doing what we all should have done a long time ago, right? And that Shatter Strike is meant to counter this kind of mindless offense in a sense, right? If you're just trying to
Right.
chip me out, kind of poke me out, you toss it out and you get punished really hard. And like I said earlier, not a lot of people are using it. So when Polyboy whips it out there, it's just totally, we don't even expect it. Here's the commentators, you know. So
yeah, I can definitely see it having a major effect on the meta moving forward. You know, back into it again. 2 up on the Polyboy. He's able to make these adjustments, especially late in the match life. Kind of has Bijounet running scared when it comes to the potential for massive damage off of those Shatter Strikes. But Kula's still doing pretty well here. Polyboy applying great zoning with King though. Currently seems like Ledandis is starting to question how he's applying some of this, because his initial play here at the beginning of this round was atypical of what we've seen in the matches prior to this. But he seems to be getting back into his groove. I just think that there's a little bit of shock from that Shatter Strike.
Still wearing off.
Absolutely, man. That's it shook him a little bit, but I think he should be able to find his bearings.
Well, I can tell he's getting a lot more defensive too. You know, he's not used to this this offensive king moving in and trying to hit him up. He's blocking a lot more, allowing for grabs. He's rolling more, allowing for punishes. Kind of in general, like I think at least that Shatter Strike has really shook him, and he's playing a much more defensive game.
Right, and that goes to show how you could get somebody with one beat off their game, and it changes your offense and your offensive options entirely. The moment he's not challenging everything, the moment he's hesitating, it's just creating the opportunity for offense, and Polyboy is absolutely taking advantage of every inch that he gives.
Definitely.
There's that super. Look at this. This is incredible adjustments from Polyboy. I absolutely can't believe how well he's been able to adjust to this gameplay. Gato's out at this point. I'm finding a very difficult. This would be an uphill battle for Bijounet at this point.
Round 3. Ready?
He made some room for himself for that Shatter Strike, and like you said, he's just taking so much advantage of it. Any little defense that Ledandis is giving, Polyboy is taking advantage of.
At this point, any further adjustments are going to be really difficult. He's going to have to try his best to maintain the same level of offense he had prior, and then wait until he gets to Ralph, and then go easy on some of that stuff until he's not worried about the Shatter Strike so much. But he's also going to a lot of this with no meter. He's going to be spending it just to get past
definitely.
Second round.
He's got 2 characters to get through on Janae with no meter. You know, I'm not saying it can't happen, but that is a challenge.
Absolutely. And Polyboy just fighting for his tournament life at this point. He is going to get back to Anguiano no matter what.
He wants that rematch.
And just some absolute great KOF from Polyboy right now. He's just really taking it to Ledandis at this point. Ledandis able to find a throw, starting to apply his pressure, getting that corner pressure, going right back into that typical fireball pressure in the corner. Oh, that was a great backdash. Great read there. Probably going to spend the meter. Guess not. Still applying pressure here.
He's going for it all. See if he can win this and save meter for Ralph.
Oh, wow.
Not quite.
That'll be match, man. Ledandis putting up an incredible fight. But Polyboy able to make the adjustments needed to see it through, and he is going to be going back into the finals, into the grand finals with Anguiano. Mind you, this is going to be a battle of attrition. We had a great matchup leading into this in the winners final, but now we're going to get potentially 3 more matches out of this.
Absolutely. I mean, it's gonna be really interesting to see just how this evolves even over this set. You know, they're both players who really can adjust to each other. We saw a lot of that in their first setup, and curious to see how they change their game plans going into this.
It looks like we're going to have our players setting up here. We'll be going into grand finals now, and the grand finals are going to be Eddie Anguiano and Holy Boy, a run back of that absolutely intense match that was in winners finals. Holy Boy was able to fight his way back through the losers bracket, and you'll be able to see some great King of Fighters here. I'm definitely excited to see this play out.
I definitely agree. I'm curious if he'll carry this forward. You know, like I said, all it took was that one Shatter Strike, and the whole match just kind of twisted in his favor. And I wonder if he has any other tricks up his sleeve like that.
Well, I can assure you that a vast majority of the communities will be practicing those Shatter Strike combos and counters, man. That's going to be some
Definitely.
And our competitors are getting themselves set up here. We should be going into the winners grand finals here shortly. But I'll take the moment to remind you all that we do have some FGC Boomers merch. So if you're interested in some merch, feel free to head on over to our Discord, find some links, and take a look at it. If you're interested in supporting FGC Boomers and want some cool merch, just head on over, and you'll see our online store, links to our online store where you can find shirts, coffee mugs, and other fun FGC Boomer-related merchandise. Represent the FGC Boomer online community with spiffy coffee mugs or looked after in a new FGC Boomer shirt. Learn more about it at the Boomer Discord. Again, URL's up at the top right of your screen. Please make sure to give us a shout out, drop by, play some games, and enjoy the community. It looks like our players are getting prepared here. They should be exiting the lobby here shortly and picking characters. But we will be having Holy Boy and Eddie Anguiano in the grand finals.
It's going to be the rematch of the century. I'm telling you, this is going to be intense. You know, both of them have just been showing excellent play this entire tournament. You know, really adjusting to what's happening around them and bringing home the win at the end.
Yeah, lots of great adjustments, lots of great reads and clutch positions. I'm excited to see how these guys are able to top what we already saw. I mean, already Holy Boy leveled up. He leveled up in this last on his way back to the winners bracket.
Right.
I don't think Anguiano's fighting the same guy in the same tournament. It's incredible stuff. That being said, Holy Boy just went through some tough matches, and he's got a long path ahead of him. It's to be pretty difficult to unseat Anguiano, especially since he does have to beat him twice. So
it's an uphill battle, but that's all Holy Boy's been fighting uphill battles all day, and it's come out on top. So we'll see who finishes this.
we currently have tournament organizers getting everything set up for this final grand finals match. I'd like to thank you all for joining us for this King of Fighters 15 tournament. I hope you're enjoying the matches. We've had some really great play from our competitors today. Of course, I'm Napkin Schematic. My partner here is No Name, and he's been absolutely killing it on the mic. So thank you so much for joining us.
Well, of course, thank you. I'm really happy to be here and give a little bit of insight into these matches. There's certainly been great matches to commentate on. It's been exciting for both of us, and I'm really honored to be here and part of this community and represent it in some small way. It seems like we're going to the grand finals now, and see how this plays out.
All right, we're going to be seeing same order, same characters. They're continuing like it never ended. So let's see how this goes. And Anguiano again coming in with Geese, challenging that king.
Well, now we have Holy Boy with the O Shermie. I know.
What is this?
Mixing
is
it
this
up.
A weapon we're seeing? I wonder if he found this out.
I told you he's got more tricks up his sleeve. This is the one.
Oh wow, look at that! Oh, and he was able to counter it. Look at that. Well, we're taking a little bit more of a patient approach this time. Finds that standing B. Oof, the spacing on that. Whoa! The
Man.
EX hopping over the Rapuga, that was incredible tech. Finding some really good ways to apply his pressure here. Hops right back in. Finds the crouching C. Whoa! EX counter.
Yeah, Polyboy is really playing this, aggressive zoner kind of game. He's throwing out his fireball, following it in, and go for high moves.
Right. Unfortunately, he's not able to find a path forward against Geese this time around. But coming in with 1 meter now, and we're going to be seeing that Oh Shermie. Let's see how this pans out.
The Oh Shermie debut.
Oh Shermie, a little bit more of a zoner this time around. Should be interesting to see what we can find and what Polyboy has in store for us. He's of course still playing a very strong ranged game. Ends up catching that jumping blowback, going in for some pressure, and rolls away. The speed on Oh Shermie's fireballs, it's pretty interesting, pretty quick. I was about to say I'm not seeing a lot of the place slower fireballs, but now we're going to start seeing them pop up. I think the problem with that though is that Reese's fireballs are so fast; it's really hard to set up those fireballs.
I was just about to say that. I mean, you can toss one out.
Yeah.
You're either fireball either way, so you're either trading or you're just getting hit. They're just too fast.
I'm sure it's going to be one of those scenarios where she probably wants to try to start her offense off of a knockdown and placing that somewhere so that she doesn't have to deal with his fireballs. But at this point, he's gotten past that, so let's see how this is going to affect Oyashiro at this point. That jumping CB once again, she places the fireball outside though, but he's able to cut the distance. I think she's going to want to place those in front of her if she's going to be worried about him rushing her down.
Yeah, definitely. If we can build a little space here, I think Oyashiro's going to have a lot. Place those fireballs for her. Now she's mixing it back up and just going for it. Going for offense.
Jumping elbows are pretty strong. Finds the anti-air. Oh my goodness, goes into that quick max. Finding the super here, and she's going to go ahead and spend the meter to finish this one off.
Yeah.
And Guiano is going to have to adjust to his new wrinkle here. With Polyboy pulling out all the stops and surprising us with an Orochi Shermie.
Got to see how he plays this next round. I'm assuming he's going to try to build that meter back up for Rao for the last round.
Oh, he's absolutely going to have to. Oh, Shermie's doing some good work right now. She does have no meter at this point, though, so she's probably going to want to definitely keep Shermie out. There we go. Keeping those in front of her or at a medium range might be ideal, but she was able to find that jump in, so we're going to probably be seeing a little bit of damage.
Yeah.
Wonderful reads. Polyboy's playing his heart out right now. It works to his advantage if he can wrap up this first set, with a little bit of shock and awe. It's going to make it a little bit easier for him going into the actual final matches.
Well, and I think it was pretty wise of him, right? If he's going to pick Shermie sometime, now is the time, right? A new character that people don't really have experience with now in the grand finals after he already played Eddie Aguiano earlier. I think it's paying off.
Absolutely, because all his tech is out on the floor at this point, so changing it up a little bit is definitely to his advantage. Now, Ralph has just this little bit of Shermie left.
Final round. Ready? Go!
Yeah, so this is a pretty great gamble here, and it shows the range of Polyboy's knowledge of the game, because he at any point knows that he can switch back to his original team and further mix up the meta that he's presenting to Anguiano.
Yeah, definitely paying off this first match to Polyboy. Really playing some strong Shermie. I haven't seen too much of her yet, but he really is trying to build that space and get that knockdown so he can place those fireballs. Very, very hard to get in on. Even in my limited experience with her, it's just an absolute minefield for your opponent. They don't know where's safe for them.
It's pretty important here that that Anguiano is able to offset some of the offense that King's going to have, so he can go into the Shermie matchup with a little bit more health and ideally a little bit of meter to deal with some of her offense. Great use of mixing up the levels of fireballs with Kyo, though. Polyboy's playing some of the... I'm sorry, with King. Polyboy's playing some of the best King I've seen him play. Oh no, gets that cross up and misses that jumping C's just off.
Yeah, playing that offense game isn't working out as well for him this time around. I think Eddie Galgiano is really catching on, trying to preemptively hit him out.
Yeah, I can see that some of those maybe short hops and back hop backwards with those fireballs, anytime he senses some of that offense coming in, is going to help reset some of that range, but it also takes away some of the space he has to work with throughout the match, because right now he's already cornered. He was able to escape, though. Some good adjustments there by Eddie Angliano. He's got to deal with that Orochi Shermie now, sitting on 1 meter.
Still think though, yeah, it's going to be a strong match for Geese, just because Shermie's just not going to have the room to set up those fireballs and really give him a hard time.
Right. Polyboy had strong reads in the corner with Orochi Shermie already, though, so I think his existing knowledge of vanilla Shermie is definitely serving him well. Getting him right back into the corner. And he's able to counter that fireball, making a little bit of breathing room. Angliano playing some very strong Geese right now.
It's really, oh, there goes the Shatter Strike.
Yeah.
But Angliano was definitely finding the way
Right.
Just catching with the tip of them.
Yep. Now those defensive shatter strikes, though, they're very similar to command counters, because they catch you with your hand in the cookie jar there, and you're already tipping them off that you're looking to use it. Unfortunately, it also spends meter too, so if he didn't land it, he uses the whole bar. There was that cross up air slasher, by the way.
Yeah, that you're talking about.
Yeah, just missed it, but he can space them. Oh wow.
Yeah, Eddie Aguilar really caught on to Polyboy's rhythm here. He knows just when to throw those fireballs, and just when to toss out those counters. Polyboy's fighting back a little bit though.
Oh wow, there goes the...
I'm just gonna go through.
Oh, jumped it! Wow, Polyboy was ready for it. Look at him. All right, and he's got 4 meters, so I mean he can do a little bit here. He can gain some life back here. He's probably gonna be sitting at half life. If he can really push Yashiro here, he might be able to get to that final character, and we can still have a match on our hands, but it's going to be an uphill battle.
Such a risk by Eddie Aguilar. I'm really surprised he went for the climax, Like, you figured he'd finish the round off, but ended up paying for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, now it's just, again, one of those long fights that Polyboy's just not allowing them to go quickly. If he's going to get the wins, he's going to have to fight for it. Finding that drop kick, he's really putting him to work. Ralph, look at that. Ralph's gonna find some damage here. Things are gonna get ugly. And he finds that level 2 super. I'm getting some floor pounding here. Uh-oh. Here comes the dramatic effect. Wow. What a
on it back.
Closing out that round. Excellent work. And Shermie coming in with 1 meter. It's not in her best interest to come in with with no meter to spend. And Ralph can still do some damage just with no meter. And he came in. Look at that. His life bar is getting further. Man, Polyboy playing some of the best King of Fighters of his life, man. This is some excellent work. Finds that jumping back. See, holy mackerel. Now, this is one of those scenarios where I don't necessarily believe Shermie wants to play neutral against Ralph. Ralph's neutral game is crazy strong.
Yeah.
Oh, finds that cross-up, though, just as I was saying that. Finding the super, and she has enough meter to go into the silliness. This is match point. I mean, this is a game right here. This is over.
It only took 1 hit for her, but Polyboy was really playing a strong Ralph here, right? Just rely on those big pokes, just really playing it safe, not trying to get grabbed by Shermie. But you can only guess it right so many times.
Right. Eventually, you're gonna get grabbed. So Looks like Anguiano was able to make some pretty good adjustments here. See if he can carry this out. Now, mind you, he still has to be able to do this, for this for the rest of the matches, and it's a ton of pressure that Polyboy
Sure.
is applying to him. And all the while, he still has to kind of make heads, try to find a way to solve the situation with Orochi Shermie, because it's more than likely a character he has less experience with, and Polyboy's kind of writing the book on that as we speak.
I think it's all going to come down to whether Polybook can consistently win this first round against Geese, though.
Right.
If he does that, he's got a good position when he hosts Shermie against Yashiro. But the other way around is just not that favorable.
Ooh, the overhead catches him, gets the throw. No follow up on the floor though. Finds the move. And we're seeing a much more aggressive Geese right now from Anguiano at this moment. He's applying some pretty mean pressure there. He does have some pretty strong options, especially when he's applying some of that intelligent pressure that Anguiano is so capable of. He's relieving a little bit of it now because it looks like Polyboy started lashing out a bit. He's back on those fireballs.
Right.
Anguiano playing just great ranging with Geese. Finds that the double Rakuken and is able to close that out. Still sitting on half meter, but he just crossed that half-minute threshold, so I'm not too sure he's going to see the kind of returns he wants on his life bar.
Right. I mean, the problem with King is just, you can only do so much of her on her offense, If you rely on your projectiles and rely on your jump-ins, both of which Geese can kind of outdo you on a little bit, you only got so many options.
Yeah,
But
I think once he...
really bringing the heat.
Oh, that jumping CD, perfectly spaced. Still able to catch that. I'm not too sure at this point if those static fireballs are going to help out, especially against Geese.
Burn to fight. Ready? Go!
Great adjustments again by both players. Now this is a good time, I imagine, for Shermie to pop out some of those fireballs here and there.
Right. Boy was relying a lot on that light fireball that's right in front of him, which is pretty strong because your opponent's going to be expecting to get further field and move in, and they run right into it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would imagine if he can get those Mugetsus out to kind of try to stifle some of the approach that Oyashiro is trying to apply, it might create some opening. But unfortunately, it looks like Anguiano has a couple different things in his plan here. He's able to find the supers and get that. Let's see if we can get the skulls. He's going to apply his pressure one more time and finds that jumping hammer. Oh my goodness. That'll be all for Orochi Shermie. 2 meter for Ralph. Still something that he can negotiate though. We did see pretty strong Ralph play in that last round, so we'll see if Polyboy is able to make an adjustment here, maybe get some of the same outcomes, but unfortunately with less meter.
He's definitely playing a careful game, but yeah, putting Oyashiro at that second position is a really strong move on Anguiano's part. You only use as much meter as you need to and save the rest for Shermie.
Right. Some crazy strong Ralph play right now. Polyboy's just putting the sticks to this guy. Absolute great gameplay right now. He's going to be coming in with 1 meter, 4 meter for Shermie. I'm not. That's a tough sell.
Sure. He's playing a patient game though. He's really spacing his far normals really well. He's got to do a lot of victories around.
Right, absolutely, and luckily for him, he doesn't seem to have too much reliance on a air-based approach, and I think it's going to be something he's going to want to be careful of because he doesn't want to catch that anti-air throw and go for a lot of damage.
He learned his lesson in the match.
Right. Oh, there we go. Oh, just out of range for that crouching C that opened up that offense. Unfortunately,
yeah, that's going to be.
Yeah, we're going to be getting that climax here. Shermie's going to be whispering sweet nothings into his ear, and that's going to be the end. Strong adjustments on both players' sides. It's going to be pretty crucial for Polyboy to be able to get past Geese early on. I think a vast majority of this offense of his game plan right now is going to be offsetting Geese. And here's
Remember,
the yeah, here's where I think the adjustment was going to happen. Is I think he was hoping uh, to get uh, Anguiano to not so much play Polyboy as much as he's playing Shermie. Now he's playing Polyboy, and I think that might have been a pretty smart strategy because there has to be a midpoint adjustment at this point, and a lot of this was kind of based on dealing with that new variable. So let's just see how Anguiano is going to be able to adjust, especially with Ralph on point. What is going on?
well, like I said, he's realizing the king pressure isn't working. He can't win the fireball game, and his jump game gets countered. There's just not a whole lot he could have done. So I
Right.
think putting yeah. And with king on anchor here, he has a better chance of keeping Shermie out. So overall, I think a good adjustment.
Absolutely. Now the strategic application of character selection and orientation or order of these characters is starting to play itself out here, and we're starting to see how both players really understand both their characters and the matchups and individual matchups within the team dynamics. And I'm seeing some really good adjustments in play from both. Holy Boys Ralph is just he literally levels up during the tournament. And both of these players, the Geese Howard we saw at the beginning of this tournament is a different Geese Howard than I'm seeing now. But both of these guys are reaching deep and finding a new level to their game.
He's really finding really good application of those fireballs. You know, he knows when to throw those out, and he knows when you're going to jump at him. You know, he does it just enough to frustrate you to get you to jump in, then take advantage of that.
So we got Oyashiro with 3 meter. I've yet to see what kind of damage he can do when he has the meter to spend. But it looks like things are going to start getting pretty hairy for old I'm not too sure he's going to see the end of this part. We're going to see slow. Oyashiro letting us know that he'd like to see mature and Vice added to King of Fighters 15.
Now it's just going to come down to battle of pokes. So like I said, neither of these players are going to want to get each other's grab range here. Both know that's death. So it's going to be who can poke out the other one better.
Yeah. That being said, though, I think Holy Boy's knowledge of Shermie and his routes to success are plentiful, and he's going to be able to find those routes.
It's just that. I think that's a smart move, though. If I were him, yeah, I'd get rid of Oyashiro because I think King is gonna have a much better time against Shermie, even without meter.
Yeah, that's some great Shermie I'm seeing here, man. Holy Boy's absolutely, completely changing how he's able to apply his offense, and he's finding areas to toss in additional damage, to find command throws, to find jump-ins. I mean, he's absolutely improving, and I think the adjustments that both of these players are making are just showing the depths of their knowledge in this. Anguiano sitting on 3 meter, he can make a match out of this, but then he'll be going into the king match with no meter, and he's choosing to do so, flirting with Gambler.
It's a hard gamble, but I think it's one he's got to take, being a character down, He's got to even these odds as much as he can.
Yeah, absolutely. Holy Boy still has 1 meter, though, so he could probably move into a scenario where never mind. I was going to say, well, maybe he can at least do some damage before he goes out, but alright, we got that king match. King should be coming in with 2 meters. She can do some damage at least, and she's probably going to play a real mean game to keep away. Anguiano has really not a lot of meter to work with right now. I don't know if Holy Boy pushing the offense is going to be wise. I think he should definitely make him work for it.
Yeah, he's got to be careful here. I know he's trying to take advantage of that meter, but one misplaced move and it's over.
Yeah. Well, they're still trying to apply that pressure with that jumping C. If he finds it, he can do the damage, but you don't want to mess with that crouching C, man. That thing can catch pretty much anything.
There's the cross up.
Yeah, this is looking bad here. Now we're looking at match point at this point, so it's really important that Holy Boy's able to manage this distance here.
Oh gosh, he catches him, and I think that's that.
All eyes are on the winner of that fierce fight.
I think you're right. Wow, that was some great adjustments from both players. Uh, but Anguiano's adjustments just a little bit too much there. Yeah,
Well,
I think our winner here is Eddie Anguiano. What a great debut for him, coming in and showing us some of the strats and techniques he's put together with Orochi Yashiro, and yeah, incredible play from both of
well,
these
it was such
competitors.
a great team comp for him too, because he knew he could just shut down the whole screen with geese, right, and just build up that meter and just hold it for sure me. That whole team is designed just to get 5 bars of sure me, and when you're on the last character, that's all she needs to end the match.
Right, absolutely. It's a pretty strong strategy, and I think that Toivo is trying to offset it a little bit by changing up his character dynamics, and moving some team members around, and ideally he would be able to find some holes in that offense. But Anguiano was able to hold steady and finish the game. Huge congratulations to all of our competitors, but specifically both our grand finalists. Incredible play from both of them. Congratulations to Playboy and Eddie Anguiano. Incredible play.
Definitely, that was a really great match. Both times, both at the first time and in the grand finals, you both did great. Everyone did great today, but congratulations to both Playboy and Eddie.
Absolutely.
All right, so
We had a chance to see all 3 players.
Yeah, because we kind of pressed for time for now, so we're gonna call it here. I didn't mean to cut you guys off like that. I'm sorry, but we are kind of behind. So we're gonna cut it here. Small 5 to 10 minute break, and then we're gonna have Tekken coming up soon. So just stay tight, guys. Stay tight. We've got Tekken coming up within the next 10 minutes.
Well, that'll do for the King of Fighters. So that thanks to each and every one of us watching the stream and participating in the chat. And special thanks to King Giovanni for putting it together, handling the streaming duties. I'm Napkin Schematic. This is my partner No Name. Until next time, we'll see you at the next event. And as always, be sure to visit us at FGC Boomers.
Thanks everyone. See you around.